Nelly recently appeared on a podcast where he addressed him and Ashanti rekindling their relationship, getting married, starting their family. And Tasha K sounds off on Nelly's response regarding how and the reason why he actually married Ashanti. All right, so let's get into it. Thank y'all for watching.
Told you that Ashanti was settling. I know I be hitting a nerve. Y'all be wanting to just slap the dog out of me. I get it. Because I point out things that just really bother people. Whether y'all want to admit it or not, I have for over the last almost 10 years we've been on this platform. I've called a lot of stuff before I called it. I told you that Ashanti was settling.
How? Hold on, bro.
You that, and I was shocked that she even settled. Now I get that she was getting older and she wanted to have a baby and she wanted to consider who would be a good father and things like that. But at the time when I was saying, no, they're not married, I don't think she's really pregnant, I was getting it from sources, but the real nature of the issue was I just did not think Nelly really loved her like he said, because the way that he did her the first time and he got on national TV, just like he got on TV again. This is not a dig at Ashanti. I know Ashanti thinks I don't like her. That has nothing to do with it. It has everything to do with this piece of shit here.
Ooh, wee.
This is the bottom of the barrel, and I don't care. Shout out to St. Louis. I don't give a damn. Nelly is the bottom. As the bottom can get. That is scraping the bottom, and I felt like she went back in the refrigerator for leftovers when she took him back. When he did interviews back in the day and said, I felt like she was getting too clingy. I didn't want what she wanted. I wasn't into her like that. He literally said that, but he was with the girl for years because she was one of the hottest singers back in the day. And my thing is, once you show me who you are, I believe you. And so when they reunited, after he saw that she was still sexy, she was still pretty, and Chantel didn't want him, nobody was out here trying to throw. He had a baby with a girl that was cute in Atlanta right before he got her pregnant. Didn't want to come out in public with her, made her a baby mama. Y'all remember all this? But yet he gets on television to say, after Ashanti told us how he proposed, that the only reason he got married was because he didn't want Ashanti to be a baby mama. Go ahead, Jasmine, roll the receipts.
And your wife's initial reuniting, was it at the Versus?
This is the thing. When I went to Versus, I had somebody with me.
Right.
When I went to
But I'm saying, but you guys shared the stage, and the internet was like,
he had another woman with him when he was at Versus, and it was his baby mother that he never went public with. Let's go. Keep going.
But I'm saying, but you guys
shared the stage, and the internet was like, oh shit, they're in the same place at the same time.
I didn't want it tense.
Right.
When I walked in, her mother had saw me, and I knew that mom was going to go back and let her know that I was in the building.
Right.
We was here to celebrate with these brothers.
Of course.
Two of my cats,
yep.
Joe and Ja, and to celebrate their music. So I didn't want it tense, and we didn't even talk. I just went over, we got a hug, break the ice, and boom. And we didn't talk for probably another almost 8 to 9 months to a year. We didn't have a conversation. That was that. But everything happens for a reason.
I think that's awesome. I think it's so dope. And by the way, kudos to you guys figuring out how to hide a wedding.
Once we found out that she was pregnant, it was just like, I didn't want this to be, I don't want to say like
a child out of wedlock.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Well, you guys were probably already planning,
Well, we hadn't talked about it
yet.
We hadn't talked about any of that yet. I hadn't, but I was like, you know what? Let's just knock this out because we're going to be doing so much and everything's moving so fast. And I didn't want to, I didn't want her to be, a baby mama.
Jazzy, remember how bad they dragged me and said I was hating? Maybe it's the way that I deliver my news, but I promise you, I think Ashanti is so much better than this. I think she deserved better. I think she could have pulled the Eve. She really could have pulled a Eve. She could have been over there with all of her family, white, and she's the queen at the end of the table with their money that's going to be left to her. Billions. But instead she went back to Nelly and having to go grab her purse and put on sunglasses to go bail his ass out of jail for Molly. pregnant.
Mm.
And you mean to tell me after him reuniting with her, after dating her before and then dating her again, that it took him not wanting her to be a baby mother because it was bad for her brand? Do you have that video of Ashanti? Because y'all dragged me too. Oh no, I'm rubbing it in y'all face. Y'all dragged me too when she came out to say how he proposed.
Things in your life. Not only are you expecting a little one, you're also engaged. Tell me about the proposal. Were you emotional? Were you overjoyed?
It was just such a beautiful, intimate moment. We were not dressy.
What do you wear, PJs?
Yeah, I definitely had on like one of his t-shirts and then his boxers. It was very like I had absolutely no idea.
Oh, he completely shocked you?
Completely. I mean, I felt like it was gonna come soon. I didn't know when. Right. And the way that it happened. The way that it happened was just so funny. I'm sitting in the bed watching TV with boxers on, you know what I mean? It's not really sexy.
So it was just like an intimate moment, the two of you.
Yeah.
How did you celebrate?
I cried, I gave him the biggest hug and kiss ever. I FaceTimed everyone I know.
Yeah. Was mom in tears again?
Of course.
Yes.
Mom and dad and my sister we were all in the same city. So that worked out really, really cool. I was overjoyed and shocked and surprised and happy, kind of like all in one.
Beautiful.
Dude reached over in the drawer. Never mind her family being in town. Never mind him hiring an event planner to give her a beautiful proposal. Never mind any of that. We're gonna do this again. Well, I don't need no one need. You living here, you pregnant, bitch. Do you want the ring or not?
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
All right, we're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing this.
Lord.
Having a man is better than not having one at all. And definitely having a man with money is better than not having one at all. But Shanti makes her own money. So it ain't nothing that Nelly can give her that she can't give herself. But they do get a bigger bag together because the couple shit sells. Especially with them having a reality show so soon. But yet he's still finding time in his spare time to get arrested and they're finding Molly pills in the car. Your wife was 9 months pregnant. Who you using Molly on?
Good day. Okay? Now back to that one.
What do you guys think about Tasha K saying they had a shotgun wedding? Nelly's whole intent and purpose to marry Ashanti is solely based on getting a bag because he makes money moves, and that at his age, had this baby on the way, it just made sense from a business perspective for him to marry her, and that he does not truly love Ashanti based on how he's treated Ashanti in the past. Rundown. Nelly and Ashanti back in 2003, they met at a Grammy press conference. There were dating rumors right after that. In 2005 to 2010, two of them dated secretly. Now I remember back in the day, it was always like a rumor thing. They never officially made it known that they were together, and all speculative. Just said things like it was a good friendship. 2012, the two of them actually had a breakup. Rumors were circulating that Nelly had cheated on Ashanti. Interviews admitted that trust issues was a key factor in the two of them breaking up. 2014 to 2015, Nelly and Floyd Mayweather's ex, Chantel Jackson, they began to date. They had a public relationship for several years. They even had Chantel on the reality show that Nelly had with his children. 2018, 2019, Ashanti did a subtle shade towards Nelly in interviews, saying that she was in fact betrayed by Nelly and that she had been deceived. 2021, back when Versus was kicking off, it was the Fat Joe versus Ja Rule, where Nelly came across the stage and he hugged Ashanti. A lot of us at that point thought that there was something up with that. Then in 2022, we began to see the two of them out and about publicly together. The soft launch of their rekindling of romance. That's when all the spin the block rumors started to circulate. And then in 2023, April of 2023, so that's been about 2 years now, because this is now April, Nelly confirmed during an interview that both he and Ashanti were officially back together. In December of 2023, there were pregnancy rumors. He actually confirmed that she was pregnant. He finally went ahead, announced that he was in fact pregnant. Them had got married quietly in a private ceremony. I get it, right? It didn't sound good that Nelly would say, well, I basically just married her because I didn't want her to be a baby mama. However, Ashanti did not drag Nelly down the aisle. Didn't marry her. We would also have something to say about that. We have Nelly. I do care about you and I do love and respect you. So I want to make this right. And I also understand that this is something that's important and meaningful to you as well. So I want to do this. Let's make this happen. That way our child can be born in a marriage, despite not being conceived within one. I want to turn things around and do the right thing. Two of them are grown. At the end of the day, because like I already stated, you can't force a man to marry you, especially a man like Nelly. He has decades in the game, no problem doing what he wants to do. Like I've already went down their relationship history. They've been together off and on for over 20 years. This is not a random hookup situation. And I do believe people have the right to change. It's like the two of them are in a different space now, hence they've moved forward. Man steps up and says, you know what? I'm not going to just leave this woman out here pregnant. I'm going to be her husband. I have no issue with that. It's not always about a fairy tale proposal with roses and fireworks. Sometimes it's about maturity, timing, and doing what's right for the relationship and the future family. I don't necessarily agree that this is a shotgun marriage. And it may not be your typical love story, but it doesn't mean that they don't love each other and that they're not serious and that he is not committed to the marriage. Two adults have made a decision and that is their business. And I hope that they're happy. But what do you all think? Do you believe Nelly just married her because of the baby? Or do you think there's more to the story? Drop your thoughts below and let's talk about it. Enjoy my commentary? Please leave a like. Share this video, as well as consider subscribing to the channel. The next video, peace, y'all.
Is that a good thing? Some people say, I would never.
Yeah.
What have you learned about that?
What I've learned is to never say never. That's number one. And what's meant to be will be, regardless of how you feel, what you think, the timing, what's in the universe for you will be there regardless.
I imagine that there's a lot of women out there who maybe had the one that got away, or the one they always kind of wonder about.
Yeah.
When do you think spinning the block is okay?
It's okay when it's genuine and you've grown. You can't be spinning the block and hitting your head on the same curb. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to grow from whatever the problem was earlier. You have to grow from that and mature and understand each other, have a mutual respect. And I think that's what made it special for us. You know what I mean? Like, obviously we both dealt with other people, and then you start to see things too, like, damn, I guess it wasn't so bad. You know,
what I had was actually pretty great.
Yeah, you know,